Hi, this is Jim from Vaudevisuals. I'm here on 6th Avenue in Lower Manhattan. And this is Normandy Sherwood, who's the director and the creator of this amazing piece. And she'll tell us all about it, including the title,
Psychic self-defense.
Psychic Self-Defense, which is indeed, it is quite an amazing revelatory piece. And let's hear about how it came about, what prompted you to create such an incredibly elaborate, beautiful piece that's so distinctively different than anything I've seen in a long time.
Well, it kind of came from at least two places. One was like a joke that I had in working on other shows. I've always liked to put curtains in my shows, and so the last show that my company and I did in 2019 was called Madam Lynch it was at the New Ohio Theater, and our joke was like, okay, the next show is just 45 minutes of curtains opening, and I just liked that idea. It was something about it that was really appealing to me. And so I was like, how would you do that? What would that even be? Like, how could it, avoid being boring? Like what? So that felt like this sort of challenge that I just couldn't get out of my head. And then the title of the piece comes from a 1930s sort of occult self-help book called Psychic Self-Defense, which is about protecting your psyche from like vampires and ghosts and all of these creatures that want to feed off your energy and attention. And you know I guess like deep in the conceptual sense of the show, that there was a thought about like making something that would be almost like a refresher for the brain or something. Have you allow you to have a different kind of attention, or a different sort of like relationship to attention. So that was sort of floating around there as well. Like, what would a concept of psychic self-defense for 2023 or 2020 or 2021, whenever we started working on it, be like? And we started working on it. I had the idea initially was I was brewing it a little bit in 2019, but we started the harp residency here at here in 2020. So with the pandemic, and so it was like my pandemic project, or our pandemic project, because the core group of people working on it have been pretty much the same since the beginning. It's Daniel Allen Nelson, who's the sort of rigging and curtain movement scenic designer, also the production manager, also performs in the show, so he's got a lot on his plate. He's really amazing. Christina Tang, who's the lighting designer. Craig Flanagan, who's my partner and also the musician creator of the score, and Ian Sheehy, who's the actor who you see as a person, and also Nikki Kalonge, who's the other actor you see as a person in the show. So we've all been kind of working on it here. I think our first workshop was in June of 2020, and the theater was empty, so we were allowed to use the space. And what we did was like we would work in a group of 4 at a time, because we were being very careful about social distancing, and very slowly we like set up a lot of curtains. It took a really long time, and we had a lot of hours just sort of sitting and sort of staring at curtains in small groups. And so we have been able to work on the piece in this space, which is the here main stage, quite a bit, and we've explored every possible orientation for the show, and I feel like we really sort of settled into this space over the years.
It was quite amazing. I was very tickled by the constant new curtain motifs that would pop up unexpectedly, during the show. It was really quite stunning, and it was very revelatory, because every time you thought you knew what was going on, there would be another curtain, another smaller stage with a different curtain, and then of course the actors intermingling with that on a regular basis, which was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like curtains are about, a lot of things. People have curtains for all sorts of reasons, but like, it's the basic theatrical reveal, like kind of the basic, how you begin theater or separate it from regular life traditionally. And yeah, that it's like, what's it like to just keep having surprises and reveals? And for me, I find it really delightful to just sort of have that accelerated surprise and be a little bit off kilter in terms of like, where is this going? Where am I going? And just allow myself to kind of sink into.
The curtains were, I mean, the transition from curtain to curtain was so much beautifully punctuated by the music and the sound effects, which was stunningly beautiful and just quite amazing, you know. So that
Ye-
added a lot to the whole texture of the architecture of the piece, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we're very excited about the music because it's sort of doing something that we've been working on trying to do for a number of years in a number of projects, which is that we have some playback sound that is being run from the board, but a lot of this music is sort of live improvised electronic music using modular synthesizers. And so the thing we've been trying to do is have sort of live improvisatory music in the context of theater, because those things don't always, unless you really cordon it off, they don't always mix so well because, you know, in theater, actors and all the other crew need very specific cues usually, and especially with a show like this, it's very technically complex. But I think we finally have hit a sort of balance of like having enough that people can grab onto, that we can do the sort of mechanism of the show, but like leaving open the space for this sort of electricity magic of Craig's music. So every show is a little bit different sonically, and it's really exciting. Like, I love listening to it every time because it's evolving, and some things come back and some things disappear from show to show, and the tone of different moments can be wildly different based on how the improvisation is going, and I think it's kind of exciting.
What was the how did you decide what patterns you were using on all the different curtain motifs?
Well, it sort of had to do with what I had access to. I would say about 85% of the set is from Materials for the Arts, which maybe people know what it is. It's a city agency, actually, through the Department of Sanitation, that recycles all kinds of materials that corporations or people would throw away, but they have a big warehouse in Long Island City, and they allow artists and teachers to come access those materials. And so I'm a longtime Materials for the Arts user, but yeah. So we whatever they have there that I'm drawn to can become a curtain.
That's terrific. And the show's running until the 20th.
The 30th, actually,
30th.
September 30th.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And you have shows on the weekends, 4 o'clock on Saturdays, and
Yeah, so we're doing we have set many shows. We have shows at 8:30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we have 4 o'clock show on Saturday and Sunday, and an 11 o'clock show on Friday. So many opportunities.
11 p.m.
11 p.m. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we had our first one last night, and it was very fun, actually. It was a really good energy and like kind of a wild, loose party kind of
I can
feeling.
imagine the audience being a terrific audience at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it seemed like a good show for the middle of the night.
I think so. I think so. I think it's a good show for any time, but thank you very much.
Thank
you
you.
much, Norm. We appreciate it very much, and everybody should come see this show. It's
Please do.
quite wonderful. Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye-bye.